You are Locked On Heat POSTCAST. Part of Locked On Sports Miami on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What's up, Heat fans? Welcome to your Locked On Heat POSTCAST. My name is Jim GRIES. Call me Grease, and oh man, what a tough one tonight. Opening round of the NBA Cup in-season tournament. You know, the NBA got to make all that money they can. They got to make it pizzazz and fun and all those things. And look, it's a nice thing, the NBA Cup in-season tournament. I'm not knocking it. You get the different courts. You get a little bit of a different look and feel from the NBA, and the Miami Heat got a little bit of a look and feel tonight from the Detroit Pistons. Man, that just was a tough one. It's your Locked On Heat POSTCAST. Jim GRIES. Call me Grease. The Heat with a very brutal loss tonight at Detroit, 123-121 in overtime. It's not just that they lost this game. It's not just that it went to overtime. It's not just the way they lost it on a lob with 1.8 seconds left that ties the game. They're up 2 with 1.8. They give up a lob. Bam Adebayo just gives up the lob after he blows the dunk that could have won the game, by the way. And, so what happens from there is Detroit lobs it in, and they get the dunk, and they tie the game. And then Erik Spoelstra, oh, man, Spo. I love Spo, one of the best coaches in the game, but proving that we're all human, once again, Erik Spoelstra calls a timeout when the Heat didn't have one. Remember Chris Webber, Michigan, North Carolina? Well, Erik Spoelstra did that tonight. Inexcusable for a head coach. There's no way on God's green earth that should ever happen. He knows it. Everyone knows it. The world knows it. It's just one of those things, man. Spur of the moment. Lights are bright. Game on the line, and he ran on the court calling timeout. And, man, that's just brutal. There's no excuse for that. You know, coaches are all over players all the time. Know the situation, know the clock, know how many timeouts. He's got assistants there. There is no excuse for that for Spo. And the Heat fall to 4-6. All right, you're watching your Locked On Heat POSTCAST. Jim GRIES. Call me Grease. We're going to tell you how it all went down. There was a great comeback by Miami in the fourth quarter. And an otherworldly performance by Tyler Hero to get him there. He definitely was the hero tonight, and he deserved a lot better than what he got in the end for Miami. All right, first things first. I Grease fix all the honeys, dummies, Playboy bunnies. Those want money, but I know right now I'm not doing that. I'm just telling you that your favorite podcast has a newsletter introducing the Locked On Heat Daily Newsletter. One stop for ultimate team and league coverage delivered right to your inbox. Sign up for free now at LockedOnDaily.com. That's LockedOnDaily.com, and start your day with the all-new free FREE Locked On Heat newsletter. And tonight's episode of your Locked On Heat POSTCAST is brought to you by, you guys know what's up. It's FanDuel. You can start the season with a big return on FanDuel. New customers can place a $5 bet. Count it, $1, $2, $3, $4, $5. Make you holler. You're going to get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. All right, Jim GRIES. Call me Grease. Just getting going here on your Locked On Heat POSTCAST on your Wednesday. Man, what a game this was. I mean, you hate to see anybody lose this game. Miami, they came out slow tonight. They were down 11 at the end of the first quarter. So many things to talk to you about with this game, and I'll tell you what, man, it was brutal. It was brutal, and Miami had some stretches of this game where you're looking at it and you're like, yo, like what is going down here? It was 12-0 at the start of the game. The Pistons with a 12-0 run. Miami couldn't get anything to fall early on. Just ice cold, just nothing going, nothing doing. You know what I'm saying? And look, they were down 39-21 with about 8 minutes left in the second quarter. They went on a 21-2 run in the second, you know, and then toward halftime, both teams with a scoreless streak about 2 minutes long. And then the Heat not getting to the line in the first half. Detroit was 14-14, Miami 1-for-1. Think about that for 1 second. The refs, you know, I mean, just come on. The discrepancy is a little bit crazy. The Heat with 26 bench points in the first half. The bench coming strong tonight. Look, no Jimmy Butler again. Bam Adebayo, not so great. I mean, this guy's an Olympian. Like, we need more from Bam Adebayo. We need international Bam. And you definitely need Erik Spoelstra to not make a mistake like that. I mean, look, we're all human. We make mistakes. I do it all the time. But, I mean, come on. I'm not making millions and millions of dollars. I'm not an Olympic coach. I'm not, you know what I mean? That's just something that Spo should never do. And he knows that. He knows it, and you know it, and we all know it. But Miami won the second quarter. Again, been really good in the second quarter all year. Not the best third quarter, for Miami. A Detroit run late in the quarter, and just unbelievable, man. It just and Rozier was not playing well. Thank God for Tyler Hero for Miami. When you're looking at Bam Adebayo, I mean, he was 8 for 13. He had 12 rebounds and 20 points, 20 and 12 for Bam. Really played very well in the second half. That was the key for Bam. Not so great in the first quarter and the first half in particular. Tyler Hero with a monster game. We'll get to that in a minute. But Bam with 20 and 12, and Duncan Robinson with 14, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, and 4 steals. Nice job by Duncan, but he was 2 for 10 from 3, 2 of 10. If he'd hit a couple more of those, the Heat win this game. No problemo. Another nice job by Jaime Jaquez Jr., 25 minutes, 14 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals. Nice job by him. And Highsmith had 9 and 4 rebounds, 5 rebounds and 3 steals. Highsmith had 5 steals the other day, 3 today, 8 steals in 2 games. As a defensive stopper, he's coming into his own, but he scores a little bit too, I really enjoy watching Highsmith play. Kevin Love, not so great tonight, 3 points in 10 minutes. It is what it is. 2 rebounds from K-Love. Rozier, terrible tonight, 3 for 14, 0 for 5 from 3, had 7 points. We'll hit the rest of the box score a little bit later on, but the Heat with an incredible fourth quarter comeback, man. An incredible fourth quarter comeback for Miami. And, this team was down 14 points with 9 minutes left. They were down 10 points with 8 minutes left. They were down 14 again with 7 minutes left. You're down 11 with 6:05 left in the game, and you're down 8 with 5:32. And again, you're down 9 with 4:39, and you're down 11 with 4 minutes left in this game. And I'm just taking you through the fourth quarter. And then Terry Rozier finally makes a shot. I don't know what happened there. And then Bam Adebayo makes 1 free throw out of 2, misses the second. It's a 7-point game. And then it goes to 9 with 2:05 left. So 9 points down with 2:05 left. And then Tyler Hero, a step back 3 from 30 feet. Bang for Tyler. And, another, a 30-foot running pull-up shot to pull them within 111 to 108. And then another one from Tyler. He had 3 threes in less than a minute to tie the game at 111. Nobody could score from there with, and Tyler missed a 12-footer there. And the end of regulation. And then in OT, something just happened with the mic real quick there. But then in OT, Tyler just continued, and it was a nice job by Miami. You can't really rip them too much in this game, but just too many cold stretches, too many guys not showing up at the right times for Miami, and you get to overtime and nobody scores for the first minute 20. A lot of scoreless stretches in this game, but Highsmith makes a 2 to put the Heat up by 2, and Cunningham, after he makes a 19-foot jumper, he makes the free throw for the 3-point play. 114, 113, Detroit's up. Bam with an alley-oop puts the Heat up. Bam makes a free throw. It's a 2-point lead for Miami. Cunningham makes 2 free throws. It's a tie game. Robinson makes a 2. It's 118, 116, Miami, and a whole lot of misses in that stretch there. And then Malik Beasley with a 3-pointer to tie it up at 119 for Detroit, and then it stays there. And that was 119. That's at 40 seconds, and it stays there. And then Tyler Hero with a 6-foot 2-pointer makes it 121, 119, and then, oh man, it's 121, 119, and Detroit throws a lob to Jalen Duren, and Bam gets caught in a back screen, and he just dunks it in. Very easy play. Just really, really discouraging, a little disheartening that a play like that could happen in a situation like that. And it was not good for Miami, to say the least. And then, it just was awful. And then after that dunk, there's 1.1 on the clock. Spo comes running full speed on the court. Timeout. No one stops him. People are probably shocked on the bench, right? And I know Spo's going to take accountability. Mistakes happen, but you lost this game because your center got caught on a back pick and you gave up a dunk with 1.8 left, which is inexcusable, right? Throw him in the third row. Don't let him get a dunk. Come on, Bam, what are you doing, bro? Like, just push that dude in the crowd. I don't know. I don't get it. So then Spo calls the timeout. They hit the technical foul, and the game's over, man. Malik Beasley makes 2 free throws, and he makes the second of 2, by the way. And that was when they fouled him. So he makes the technical free throw. The Pistons get the ball. They foul him. He makes 1 of 2, and you know what I'm saying. So there you go. There's your game right there. But there was one play, and I have it here on the list, where Tyler throws a lob to Bam, and oh man, he just could not knock that shot down. Just could not knock the dunk down. Bam had a shot at it and couldn't get it. So just one of those things for Miami that happens in a game like this. And man, just rough, really rough for the Miami Heat in that moment. And, you lose the game. All right, you're watching your Locked On Heat postcast. Jim GRIES Call me Grease. You fall to 4-6 on the season. And we'll get to the NBA in-season tournament, the NBA Cup. We'll get to the ramifications. Remember, each team has 4 games. They have another one in Indiana on Friday. They actually play them on Sunday too, but that's not in the NBA Cup, completely separate. But then they have 2 games at the end of the month at home. One's against Milwaukee. I'm trying to remember who the other one's against, but those are NBA Cup games as well. But again, the NBA Cup in-season tournament, it's nice to get a win there. You get some money, you get some things like that, and they really should have won this game tonight. You're watching Locked On Heat postcast. Jim GRIES Call me Grease on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. Don't forget, catch Locked On Heat every day. The guys do an amazing job. We got Locked On Dolphins with Kyle Krabs. We got Locked On Canes with Alex Dono. And I'm here for the postcast for all of them. Jim GRIES Call me Grease, just getting started. Take a look at the numbers on the other side, the box, the team stats, all the above. A game of runs and a game that the Miami Heat should have won against a team that's not that good. But Tyler Hero with an epic night. We hit that first on the other side. Locked On Heat postcast on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. And I get a chance, and I apologize, there's no overlay for this one. So if anybody's watching from the network on the production side, there is no overlay to show you guys the logo. But I will tell you what, man, Mint Mobile is a proud sponsor of your Locked On Heat postcasts. And, with big wireless providers, what you see is never, ever what you get. Somewhere between the store, that's right, when you walk in and your first month's bill, the price you thought you were paying, magically skyrockets, just goes through the roof. With Mint Mobile, you'll never have to worry about gotchas ever again. Why? Because when Mint Mobile says $15 a month when you purchase a 3-month plan, you mean it. You know what I'm saying? And we've all had bad experiences with other mobile providers. I mean, not to name the name, but oh my God, you just you think about it, starts with a V, and you just look at your bill and you're like, yeah. And we've all had those moments, right? So say bye-bye to your overpriced wireless plans, jaw-dropping monthly bills, and unexpected overages when you least expect them. Obviously, Mint Mobile is here to rescue you with premium wireless plans starting at $15 a month. All plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number along with all your existing contacts. Ditch overpriced wireless with Mint Mobile's deal and get 3 months of premium wireless service for $15 a month. To get this new customer offer and your new 3-month premium wireless plan for just $15 a month, go to mintmobile.com/LockedOnNBA. That's mintmobile.com/LockedOnNBA. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/LockedOnNBA on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. All right, Miami, the Heat lose to the Pistons 123-121 in OT, baby, and not a good loss for Miami at all. Just terrible the way that it happened, and you can't say it enough. NBA Cup game, the Heat call a phantom timeout in OT. Oops, hold on a second. Man, these things get a mind of their own sometimes. All right, well, it was Malik Beasley with a tie-breaking free throw with 1.1 seconds left after the dunk, right? And that was beautiful play. A technical foul, calling timeout when it had none left, 123-121. The final, Tyler Hero put him up 121-119 with 1.8 left. And then Cade Cunningham hit Jalen Duren. Beautiful pass from Cade. Duren used the back screen on Bam Adebayo, got the dunk off the inbounds pass, which is completely inexcusable. I mean, you think about how bad this was for Miami, and I know Bam would take the heat for that one. Yeah, the heat. But look, for the coaching staff, look, to give up a dunk like that and then call a timeout you don't have, that's as bad as you're ever going to see Eric Spoelstra be. That's as bad as you're ever going to see this Heat coaching staff be, because that's terrible. Absolutely terrible to give up a dunk like that with 1.8 seconds left. They're taking the ball out right to the right of the half-court line and lobbing it. I mean, dude, there's inexcusable right there. And Bam obviously knows better than that. And then Spo calls the timeout, the illegal timeout. Beasley hits the foul shot, adds another one because they got the ball and the Heat fouled him. Beasley and Cunningham, 21 each for the Pistons, 0-4 in the NBA Cup last year. This team has 5 wins. They didn't get their 5th win last year until the end of January. They had a 28-game losing streak, you remember. They stink. Oh, my God, the Pistons are terrible. Miami should have easily won this game. Listen, Jovic left the game in the first quarter with an injury. Tim Hardaway Jr., I wish the best for Timmy. And I remember him when he was a little baby, when I'm covering the Heat way back in the day when Tim's playing for him. Tim Sr., a collision with Harrow and Durant, and he really he hurt his head. And so bloodied, a lot of medical attention, taken off the floor in a wheelchair. His dad went back, and hopefully he will be okay, And, man, it's a 23-4 run for Miami in the second quarter. They actually took the lead when they were down big. Tyler Hero with just an unbelievable performance. He had 18 points in the fourth quarter, man. 3 threes in the last minute of the game to send it to OT. 6 for 9 shooting, 6 of 8 from three-pointers in the fourth quarter. 10 threes overall for Tyler, tying a franchise record. Couldn't quite break it, but he did hit the 40 mark, and I thought that was pretty dope for Tyler to hit that 40 mark. And you know what I'm saying? Like, it was really a nice night for Miami, like the great big comeback, and just to lose it like that is just brutal for the Heat right now. All right, so real quick, we'll take it through the box. Kevin Love, 3 points. Highsmith, 9 with 3 steals and 5 rebounds. I'm really liking Haywood Highsmith as a defensive stopper. He's going to be great off the bench when Jimmy Butler comes back. And by the way, the Locked On Heat guys talking about trading Jimmy. Come on, guys. Come on. Anyway, so Bam Adebayo, 20 points, 12 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 block tonight for Bam. Rozier had a terrible night. 3 for 14, 0 for 5 from 3, had 7 points. And the man of the hour, tower of power, Tyler Herro, 14 of 27, 10 of 17 from 3, and he had 40 points. Now, we won't get into too much the Heat, the disparity in free throws. The Pistons took 28. They made 24. The Heat only took 13. They made 10, but they only took 1 in the first half, and that's crap. The refs in the NBA are trash. Night in and night out, they go back and forth and back. You play the same game between the same teams every night with rotating officials. You'd get a completely different outcome in every game because every set of officials officiates the game differently. That should never be the case. When are we just going to replace these guys with AI and get it over with? That's the way I feel about officials, and that's the way I've always felt about officials. All they do is get in the way and call. I mean, look, there's no reason or any kind of explanation whatsoever to talk about how Miami had 1 free throw and Detroit had 14. Come on, man. Come on. The NBA has never gotten this right. It's so maddeningly inconsistent. Even with Tim Donaghy and all the stuff with the gambling, they still can't get it right with their officials. Every set of officials should call the games the same. There's no room for interpretation. There's no saying, hey, I call the game my way. No, BS, man. Call every game the same. The rules are the same. You're a ref. You should be seen. You should not be heard. You should not have a personality. You should not exert your influence over the game in any way, shape, form, or capacity. Ever as a referee, as an official of any kind. AI, baby. Get rid of these guys. It's about time. It's long been about time for that. All right, so the Heat bench. Duncan Robinson, 14 points, but just 2 of 10 from 3. 2 for Jovic. He left in the first quarter. Ware with 5 had a couple of blocks tonight, as well as 2 rebounds. 5 for Richardson off the bench. Jaquez Jr. with 14, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals. Nice job of Jaime tonight. 2 points for Larson off the bench. Spoelstra played 11 dudes tonight. All of them scored. Jimmy sat out with the ankle sprain. Bryant, Burks, and Smith did not play. Meanwhile, for the Pistons, 18 for Harris, 11 for Hardaway, 8 for Duren, 21 for Cunningham, 19 for Ivy, 10 for Fontecchio, 21 for Beasley off the bench, 5 of 11 from 3. What a big game for him. 13 for Stewart off the bench, just 34 points. And then Fontecchio, so big-time bench points for Detroit and for Miami. Big part of the game this evening, and unbelievable. Miami was favored by 1.5. The over easily came in at 214.5. And there you have it. Miami and Detroit were running up late against a break. The team stats, Miami shot 46%, so did Detroit. The threes about even, the percentage right there. Free throw percentage, and really 28 free throws for Detroit and 13 for Miami. There's your difference in the game. Hello, Adam Silver. Hello, NBA. What are you going to do about this? It happens night in and night out with the disparity in free throw shooting. Come on, man. You're better than this. Games should not be decided by this anymore. It's 2024, bro. It's almost 2025. The NBA needs to get this right, or they need to replace the officials and not have them there anymore. I'd rather have robots out there than these fools at this point. And I can say it. They can't find me. They can't suspend me. But I've had enough of this. I'm a lifelong basketball fan. And then you get to the playoffs. In a 7-game series, the officials rotate. You get different games called different ways, different nights. Not cool. Not cool. It's terrible. It's absolute trash. I'm not going to say it. I'm just going to be done. That's it. So anyway, the Pistons out-rebound the Heat by 13. Offensive glass, a 3 rebound differential there. But the Heat make up for the rebounds with the steals every game. And there's 14-4 on the steals for Miami. Turnovers, Detroit had 7 more. It just was the free throw discrepancy. It really was, man. It really was. There were a lot of non-calls against Miami in this game. Points in the paint, the Heat had 10 more. Usually they lose that category. Largest lead for the Pistons was 18-3 for the Heat. But again, not a good game for the officials. Not a good game at all. Bam played great in the second half. Tyler shot the lights out. I thought Miami deserved better than that. All right, you're watching your Locked On Heat postcast. Jim GRIES Call me, Grease. Going to wrap it up on the other side. We'll tell you what this loss means for the NBA Cup and how it might affect Miami moving forward with that. But more important, as they continue to grow and evolve and Jimmy's not there, what will the identity of this team be? We'll give you the player of the game. We'll give you the turning point, and we will give you that final score graphic and look ahead to the Indiana game again with an emphasis on what you might expect going forward in the NBA Cup. Jim GRIES, call me Grease, Locked On Heat Postcast on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. And every day is a good day to tell you about FanDuel. Get ready to tackle the NFL action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Of course, you can get the action on every sport right there at FanDuel. But right now, hey, it's your tomorrow. New customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. But winners get everything. Losers get nothing. You know the way of the world. Look, just look at not going to go political, but you know what I'm saying. Winners get everything. Losers get nothing. We're back to normal in this country. You get what you earn. You don't get what you don't earn. Bang. You do that with FanDuel, too. The Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more. On the same page where you place your bets, just visit FanDuel.com to join today. Huge win for the Fins last night, by the way, at the Rams on Monday Night Football. Inspiring performance. They choked the life out of them on the first drive. They go down and score. Defense holds them -2 yards on 6 plays in the first 2 drives. Dolphins looking good right now. FanDuel.com. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. That's FanDuel.com. BT Dubs, never waste a hunch and make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. The NFLians. So it's like Outcast, the ATLians. The NFLians. I kind of like that. Don't ask me why. Isn't that a Billy Joel song? I remember from my dad's truck when I was a kid. Don't ask for favors. Don't talk to strangers. Don't ask me why. Don't ask me why the Heat lost this game. Tyler with 40 points, shooting the lights out, unconscious down the stretch. I'll tell you why they lost this game. The officials stink. That's why. The officials were terrible. And Spoelstra calls a timeout you don't have. You're up 2 in a game that you had no business winning because the officials did everything they could to give it to Detroit. Detroit basketball. Come on. What do they want? Detroit to win the NBA Cup? But listen, you're up 2. with 1.8 left and you give up a dunk on a back pick. It doesn't get any worse than that. Oh, but it does. Your coach runs on the floor and calls timeout. Look, I sound like I'm being glib. I sound like an ass right now, and I understand that. I'm not trying to be, but that's just something we never think we're going to see from Erik Spoelstra and from the Heat coaching staff. To give up a dunk like that on a lob from half court to lose the game or to tie the game, and then you run on the court, and you didn't just call it. You like, hey, timeout. You know what happens? Everyone makes mistakes, and I love Spo. You do too, and he's a great coach, and obviously it is what it is, and everyone's going to have his back, and he never makes – but, that's a terrible, terrible mistake to make to lose a game in the NBA Cup. I mean, are we – I mean, we're being said brain fart of the year, without a doubt, Skylar. Without a doubt, Skylar Weisberg, brain fart of the year for Spo. And look, it is what it is, man. I love Spo. We love Spo. Everyone loves Spo, right? Everybody loves Spo. But in that moment – I mean, it just goes to show even the most experienced coach, even a guy in his 17th year, even a guy who has done so much for the Miami Heat organization and been a great coach, even a guy like that has a brain fart every once in a while. All right, let's look at this for a second here with the NBA Cup and talk about a little bit about what this means for Miami. And when you think about the NBA Cup and what that means for Miami, it just is not even hold on one second. We'll get this here for you. And we'll give you the player of the game. We'll give you the turning point. And so it's the Emirates NBA Cup. I don't have to say Emirates. They do. So it's the NBA Cup. Never mind. They're not paying me. NBA Cup 2024. It's the second one. And I'm not saying the sponsored name because they're not paying us. They're paying the NBA. So it's the NBA Cup to me and to you. The NBA Cup. It tipped off today. And so you have the group play and the knockout round. So group play, all 30 teams are randomly drawn into groups of 5, as you guys know, within the conference based on win-loss records from last year, right? And beginning this night, tonight, and continuing through December 3rd, each team's going to play 4 group play games on cup nights, 1 game against each opponent in its group, 2 games at home, 2 on the road. Then you get to the knockout rounds. 8 teams going to advance to the knockout rounds. The team with the best standing in group play games in each of the 6 groups and 2 wild cards, right? The team from each conference with the best record in group play games that finish second in its group. The knockout round is going to consist of a single elimination games in the quarters, and that's going to be in NBA team markets on December 10th and the 11th. The semifinals and championship will be in Vegas on the 14th and 17th of December. The knockout teams will compete for a prize pool in the NBA Cup championship trophy. 67 games across both stages will count toward the regular season standings, except the championship. Whatever. Each team will continue to play 82 regular season games and blah, blah, blah. 14 games in group play and all 7 games in the knockout rounds will be televised nationally. You know what I'm saying? So there you go. And that's how it goes. And so the way that it goes for Miami now, losing that game, you'll play each team once, and it just doesn't make any sense how you start this game against Detroit, you go down 12 early, you go down 18 in the second quarter, you keep coming, and then you blow it with a dunk on a back pick and a timeout that you don't have at the end of the game. It is what it is. But they were playing uphill all night. They never really had a lead until very late in the game. They had a 2-point lead late in the fourth quarter. That was their only lead of the game. Their only lead of the game. I think it was in overtime, as a matter of fact. Don't quote me on that. I should know that, but all the information in my brain is a little scrambled right now after that game, and it is what it is, man. But I'll tell you this: Miami did not have any business losing that game. Like there's just no excuse for Miami to lose that game at all, just none. And it just was a really tough loss. And usually the third quarters have doomed them. Home losses, bad ones, but tonight was just not good, man. It wasn't good. You're up 2 with that amount of time left. You should just be like, look, they lob it toward the rim. You bat it away. Game's over, man. Where's Bam Adebayo getting hacked on that play and knocked out of the way? And it happens. I mean, it happens. Bam's an amazing player, 20 and 12 tonight. Struggled in the first quarter, especially in the first half overall. But, at the end of the day, it was what it was. All right, let's take a look at the things that happened in tonight's game. First things first, we show you The final score, look, that bottom graphic still hasn't been fixed. I think it's just a little big. They need to actually change the size of the font, maybe? I don't know, but they did the top one, not the bottom one. 121 is what the Heat scored. So 123 to 121 is the final score. Detroit, there's Duran with the dunk that they just, I mean, come on, you give up a dunk with 1.8 left, and that's the difference in the game right there because it tied it. And then the moment. Spo, no. Oh, they give up a dunk on the inbounds play. Up 2 with 1.8 seconds left. And just when you thought it couldn't get any worse because you have the ball and you can get a shot off and the way Tyler's shooting or whatever, you get it off and win the game. But no, Spo runs on the floor, full speed. No, timeout. Oh, man, if only it were a bigger game, Chris Webber would have been a happy dude. Spo calls timeout with none left. Pistons make a free throw on the technical, take the lead. They get the ball, they get fouled, they make 1 of 2, and there's your 2-point. You know what I mean? And the Heat had the win and the cover. So if you had the Heat right there, oh, that's a bad beat. That's a bad beat. SVP, baby. SVP, that's a bad beat. And your star of the game, what a night for Tyler Herro. 40 points, 10 3-pointers. Matches a franchise record, and I don't know who had that record. Was it Marley or Rashawn Leonard or, Mike Miller? I don't know. We'll have to look that up another time. But Tyler Herro, 40 points. He played hero ball tonight. He scored 9 points in less than a minute toward the end of regulation to even send this game to OT. He hit the shot to give Miami the lead. This dude deserves so much better. 6 straight games with 26 points or more. 40. I'm a man. I'm 40. 40 points tonight for Tyler Herro, who had the chance to be the hero until there came a couple of goats named Bam and Spo right after, at least tonight. I love Bam, love Spo, but you know what I'm saying. We call him like we see him. Spo blew it. He knows it. Bam blew it. He knows it. I mean, you don't give up a dunk on a lob with 1.8 left, and you don't call timeout. You don't have one. Period, point blank, end of story. Easy for me to say I'm perfect, right? Aren't we all? We're so perfect. We watch these games and go, hey, what's he doing? And we're all drinking our beers, eating chips, pizza. I know. It's easy. I know we're not in the arena. Lord forbid. I know they get a little offended when we do that, but come on. Don't call timeouts if we don't have any, and don't give up dunks with 1.8 seconds left. Easy, right? Should be. Anyway, so the Heat lose that game, and they still have Indiana on Friday. Got no job. Got nothing to do. So real quick, Friday night, Miami Heat. Yeah, baby. And the Canes have a bye this week, so no Locked On Canes postcast. But the Heat Friday and the Heat Sunday, both at Indiana, one in the NBA Cup, one outside of the NBA Cup. And then the Dolphins play on Sunday against the Raiders at home. And the Dolphins looking to go 4-5. That could be, looking to go 4-6. They could be one game under 500 with a couple of wins in a row against bad teams, Raiders, Patriots. Tua and company looking good all of a sudden. And the Heat are a real good team. They're going to clean all these things up. But the inconsistency, the inability to get to the line, the officials were terrible. When's the NBA going to get it right? Replace them with robots or AI or something. Really, I am literally sick of this. There has to be technology that does a better job of calling these games than the refs. And so many of these refs are so arrogant, they try to make the game about them. And you know what I mean? Like a Scott Foster, Chris Paul type of thing. Not that I wouldn't. I can't stand Chris Paul. But I'll tell you this. With the referees in the NBA, the officials in general, so inconsistent night in and night out. Either they get it right and start calling games consistently night in and night out. Every game should be called the same. There should be no room for subjectivity or interpretation. The rules are the rules. Call them the way you're supposed to call them or get replaced by technology, right? That's the way I see it for the NBA refs right now. That's all there is, Heat fans. There is no more. 123 to 121. They blow it tonight in Detroit. Give up a dunk with 1.8 left to tie the game. Spo calls a timeout when they don't have one. They waste a 40-point night from Tyler Herro and a win they should have gotten with Jimmy Butler out, just the way they beat the T-Wolves the other night. Is it going to be one of those seasons again where they're up and down and down and up and like a yo-yo? Please, God, no. All right, we'll be back on Friday night from Indiana. Heat and the Pacers right after that game, another NBA Cup tournament game, 2 home games later in the month as well in the Cup for Miami. And then, of course, Sunday we have the Dolphins, Canes with the week off. Make sure every day you check out Alex Donald with Locked On Canes. You check out Kyle Krabs, Locked On Dolphins. Check out the guys with Locked On Heat. podcasts on the Locked On Podcast Network, and keep coming back here for your Locked On Heat Postcast, Locked On Sports Miami, and wherever you get your podcasts. We're talking Apple Podcasts, we're talking Spotify, we're talking iHeart, we're talking Stitcher, Podbean, wherever you get your podcasts. Again, 123-121. The Heat lose to the Detroit Pistons tonight in the NBA Cup. And we will be back on Friday. The Heat fall to 4-6. We'll be back on Friday after the Pacers game. Keep your game tight and your mind right, Miami. We are out.